I think to a certain degree, we stop ourselves from actually doing the things we need to do in our business. So for you, it might be content. For you, it might be making that phone call. For you, it might be going out to the networking event. So whatever it is for you and your business, that there's something that you should be doing, but you're masking it up and saying I can't do this because of this reason. For those who don't know, so what I do is I work with coaches, and my whole goal is to help help coaches make a very impactful and transformative coaching business for the ideal client, and at the same time make it highly lucrative for you as the coach, to generate at least 6 figures in revenue. And I literally just got off the phone with somebody like right before this, and we were talking about life. There's things that you got to do in seasons. So there's certain seasons where even if you got to make some adjustments, that's the adjustment you got to make in this season. But what the main thing is, you got the passion to keep you going. So one of the things that I've realized just throughout the journey is, without having something to keep you going, is gonna, when you run into roadblocks, it's gonna be easier for you to quit. Right. And one of the things that I say, but even before I start working on folks, and I might be on a phone speaking with them, I usually say there's 2 things I can't give you. And it's a requirement to come in. I said, one is I can't give you your experience. So if you're going to be coaching and helping folks, you need to have some type of experience or something that you've been through, some type of skill to help people. And I said, the second thing is I can't give you the passion to help your audience. I said, if you don't have the passion to help your people, then and this is just kind of like a get rich thing, or just make money overnight, or I'm just looking for opportunity because I just lost my job type of thing, then then we're not going to be the best fit, right? Because you gotta have longevity. You gotta be thinking of long term. In order to even think long term and want to go long term, you gotta have enough passion in the tank that when things go wrong, you're gonna wake up again. When things go, if something happens personally, I always say you can't build your business in a bubble, right? That's why I say that, is because when things happen personally, something with the finances might hit. Well, as soon as you get into something happens financially, you giving up? You done? Right? Or as soon as something happened with your time, right? Or maybe if you get, a health issue or whatever it is, like if you're passionate to help other people in this way, you find adjustments to continue doing that. I love that. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then the second piece of that for number 1 was knowing your who. A lot of people, I think, I might be dating myself a little bit, but I remember when marketing was everybody. You just tried to get yourself in front of everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that is not how it works anymore. It's the opposite. You gotta find your person, not just your people, your person. You've got to literally find that avatar.
Mm-hmm.
I think about my own experience as well in that situation. So I used to say, hey, mom entrepreneurs. Because I thought, okay, that's going to narrow it, right?
Yep.
That's going to be fun. Not just women, it's not just female entrepreneurs, or it's not just moms, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. It wasn't until I literally narrowed that down into either fellow coaches who were just starting out, or more importantly, I work with a lot of health practitioners. And I pulled that from the people who I was attracting, I should say. Those were the clients that were coming to me, where they were saying, hey, I just started this business. I've got my certification, and now I need to get started. What do I do next?
Right.
So really knowing who your who is, starting with an avatar. Because the thing is, once you know who that person is, where they shop, what they're doing, how many children they have, what their family makeup looks like, and more importantly, what do they do? Mm-hmm. When you can figure out that and be very specific, then you have something to work with. And that's really important for you to have before you start getting out there.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And I'm gonna throw a different one in a bucket for me. I would say, like, and as I'm going through these, I'm also thinking about myself too. Like when I first started. So for me, it took me 2 years, regardless of what business you're in. I'm in coaching, right? Some of us are in coaching. But for me, it took me 2 years to get my first client. So I've been doing this officially calling myself a coach for like the last 7 years. In the first 2 years, I struggled a lot. And the reason why I struggled is because I was the free king. Like I come to the front of the congregation and say, listen, this is me, right? To where I would do I was the podcast. I would look at every podcast, every YouTube video, read every article. I would read and learn. I love learning. I'm a learner at heart, right? So I would love learning everything, and I realized that I wasn't making the type of, I felt like I was learning stuff, but I wasn't really making the type of progress that I wanted to make. And it took me just so long to get a client. And I remember one of the significant things that happened for me was, and you might even know this, Denise, I said this story before, but I was doing this webinar, right? And from a webinar, and so I'm like, all right, I got this webinar, and this is around the time when, Beyonce's On the Run tour was happening or whatever. So I got one of Beyonce's tickets, and I'm like, all right, cool. Let me go. Like, this is my idea of marketing at the time, right? This is pre Coach T, 6-figure business, pre 1.1 million people impacted online, pre courses, pre boot camps, pre certification programs. This is pre everything, right? So for me, my idea of marketing was, let me take this one ticket and I'm gonna post it on social media, and everybody's gonna respond and run to this and sign up for this webinar. So the webinar comes, and 5 minutes pass, nobody's there. 10 minutes pass, nobody. 15 minutes, and I'm going through it at this point. So I see my wife, she's looking over my shoulder like what's happening? Everybody's joining, right? It was my girlfriend at the time. So this one lady strolls on, and I'm like, well, I guess I gotta do it now. Like, somebody's on now, right? So so I tell my wife, I like, you can you join the call? Because the way that we had it set up, you couldn't know who else was on the call. So she didn't really. So the person that came on didn't really know how many other people was on. So I was like, can you join the call? Like, just so like she can hear like another voice outside of mine. So I deliver the presentation, right? She's engaged. She's answering questions. She's learning. Oh my God, this is valuable. It gets to the end of the webinar. I say, we're gonna have one lucky winner. Who is going to be, right? Basically fronting because there's nobody else who could win the ticket. So long story short, I say a name. I think her name was like Tawana. And I said, you are the winner. She goes, oh my God. Like, she's like explodes with excitement, right? And it was in that moment that I realized that it wasn't the value that I can give to the world that like people valued it. So I realized, okay, it wasn't me. Like, because sometimes we go through that when we first start in businesses, and it's like, well, can I really do this? Do I have anything to give to the world? Are they going to really want my product or service? But it was in that moment that really validated it for me that, people really value and want what I have. So it was that triggered me to, all right, let me get a coach and figure this out. Because I've been struggling for way too long, trying to make this thing happen, not making any money. So let me get a coach. And it was from me getting a coach that everything exploded in my business. So for me, like, if one of the biggest things that I would say is definitely get a coach, so you don't have to go through the hardships. So that was 2 years, right? That's true, right? So that was 2 years, right? Right. So I actually did, and this is for you, Denise. I actually did a webinar last night. And I interviewed Vic, right? So Vic is one of our clients. So I interviewed Vic, and so we kind of be going through it. And I was looking back through our private Facebook group, right? Our PCS group, and I saw that Vic got his first client within 2 months after him joining the PCS program, not knowing anything about coaching, right? Imagine going from, I don't even know the first place to start with coaching, to getting your first paying client. And I thought about it, and I was smiling while I was on a call, because it took me 2 years, but because he got the coaching, he got his first client in 2 months. That's the power of coaching. You can skip so many mistakes. So to a certain degree, we stop ourselves from actually doing the things we need to do in our business. So for you, it might be content. For you, it might be making that phone call. For you, it might be going out to the networking event. So whatever it is for you and your business, that there's something that you should be doing, but you're masking it up and saying, I can't do this because of this reason. So what I'm here to tell you today is, looking back, talking to somebody who's been doing this, 7 years, at least minimum, and I've been an entrepreneur for at least a decade. I'm talking about just coaching by itself, me labeling myself as a coach by itself. I'm telling you this, that just you have to just get started and start doing. You got to start somewhere, and you'll get better over time. Over time, you'll get better. But if you never start, you'll never even get out the gate to start making progress.